Okay, guys, second thing we're going to talk about, which I already recorded, but for some reason, I don't know, the video got messed up, is a reference angle. Let's talk about what a reference angle is. Excuse me. It is an acute, write this down, very important that you guys know this. It is an acute and positive angle. We use reference angles. It says let theta be an angle in standard position. Its reference angle is the acute angle formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. So what we're talking about here is if I have a coordinate plane, and say I have an angle that starts here on the red and it ends over here in the second quadrant, right? So here's my angle right here. Your reference angle is formed by the terminal side, the side where it ends, and the x-axis. So wherever you have an angle, wherever it ends, you take the terminal side and you just draw a vertical line to the x-axis. It'll either be up or it'll be down. But what you do is form right here this reference angle. Your reference angle will always be positive when you find out the value, and it'll always be acute. Those are some really important things for you to remember. Now there's rules. If you are given an angle that is in quadrant number 1, between 0 and 90 degrees, or 0 and pi over 2. Whatever that angle is also its reference angle. Because if you think about it, here's my angle, here's the terminal side, and if I draw a vertical line down to the x-axis, the angle itself is also the reference angle. So if you're in quadrant 1, and the angle that you're given, that is also equal to the reference angle, because that angle is both acute and positive. So now we look if the angle lies in quadrant 2. If our angle lies in quadrant 2, like right here. So here is your angle starting here. Here is the terminal side. So this is your angle right here. If you draw a vertical line from the terminal side down to the x-axis, you have created right here your reference angle. So to find the value of that reference angle, you take 180 degrees and you subtract the angle. If you are in radians, you take pi and you subtract the angle. If the angle is in the third quadrant, so here, this is my starting side, my initial side. My angle goes all the way over and it ends up down here in quadrant 3. If you take a vertical line from the terminal side of the angle and go right to the x-axis, you create the reference angle right here. And the way that we figure out that angle measure, if you're in quadrant 3, is you take the angle given minus 180. Notice over here in quadrant 2, it's 180 minus the angle. In quadrant 3, it's the angle minus 180. If you want to keep it in radians, it's the angle minus pi. And then in the case that you have a reference angle being formed, here's my initial side. I go all the way around here and I end up over here in the fourth quadrant. There's my big angle. Well, to find the reference, you take the terminal side and you draw a vertical line to the x-axis. That's this angle right here. So the way that you would find the angle measure of that reference angle is 360 minus, or 2 pi minus. Remember, every time that you find a reference angle, it is both acute and positive. So remind yourself of that. So let's look here. If I have the example of 300, well, first of all, we need to figure out where 300 is. So I'm going to draw my angle of 300 degrees. 0, 90, 180, 270, and then we're back at 360. So our angle starts right here at my x-axis. It goes all the way over here into quadrant 4. So I'm looking for the measure of this angle right here. This is my reference angle. If I'm in quadrant 4, the rule would be 360 minus the angle, which is 300, and I get the measure of 60 degrees. And I look at that and I say, okay, did I start off in degrees? Yes. So my angle measures in degrees. Is this acute and positive? Yes. So there is your reference angle. Right, and then I look here, I say negative 135. Well, think about negative 135, guys. It's 0 and 360 is here. If we're going negative, it's the opposite direction. So negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. You could draw your angle and see that you end up over here in quadrant 3. Or you could go ahead and find the coterminal positive. So I'm going to add 360 to this, and I get 225. Well, where does 225 fall? 0, 360, 90, 180, 270. if I start here and go all the way around, I'm in the third quadrant. So we're in the same spot. I want to find my reference angle measure, which would be from the terminal side up to the x-axis, which is right here. So since I'm in quadrant 3, the rule is the angle measure itself, 225 minus 180. So 225 minus 180 gives me 45 degrees. So I look and I say, okay, did I start off in degrees? Yes. Is that number positive and acute? Yes. So there is your reference angle. So you might be given a question to find the reference angle, and you want to find it in terms of pi. Well, some of us think very well in pi, and that's fine. How many times is 3 going to 2? Once with a little bit left over, so you could tell what quadrant it's in. But if you don't see that, no big deal. Go ahead and just convert. So if I go ahead and do my conversion, 2 pi over 3, I'm going to convert that to degrees. So your pi's will cancel. 3 goes into 180 60 times, so 6 times 2 is 120 degrees. That's not our reference angle. That is our given angle. So I'm going to find out where that given angle is. So I'm going to start right here at the x-axis, and we're going to we're over here in quadrant number 2. So there is our angle of 120 degrees. So if I'm going to find the reference angle, I take the terminal side and I draw a vertical line down to the x-axis. So this is the angle I'm talking about. Since I'm in quadrant 2, the rule is 180 minus the angle. So 180 minus 120 is 60. And I say, okay, great. Is that angle acute and positive? Yes. But the problem is I began my problem in radians. So if I begin my problem in radians, my answer needs to be in radians. So I'm going ahead and go convert from degrees back to radians. So 60 goes into 60 once, 60 goes into 180 3 times. So my reference angle here would be pi over 3. All right, so now I come to this angle, 23 pi over 6. Again, we're not exactly sure where that is as far as our unit circle or a circle in general is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and convert to degrees. So pi on the bottom, 180 on the top. My degrees are going to cancel. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 180 30 times. So now I can multiply 30 times 23. And I get 690 degrees. Well, I look at 690 and I say, well, wait a second, that's bigger than a whole circle. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract one whole circle and see where this would fall in between 0 and 360. And I get 330 degrees. So where is 330 degrees on our unit circle? We have 0, 360, 90, 180, and 270. So 330 would be, start over here on my x-axis, be over here in quadrant 4. So to find the reference angle, you take the terminal side, draw a vertical line to the x-axis, and this is the angle we're looking for. We happen to be in the 4th quadrant, so quadrant 4's rules are 360 minus 330, which gives me 30 degrees. But again, guys, check. You started off in radians, so our answer needs to be in radians. So let's go ahead and convert. I convert this, to radians. 30 goes into 30 once. 30 goes into 186. So my reference angle would be pi over 6. So it's pretty simple. Just remember, we don't ever use 90 or 270 in our calculations. It's always the angle minus 180, 180 minus the angle, or 360, because we're drawing our vertical lines to the x-axis. So now we're going to see how you can use a reference angle to evaluate trig functions. All right, so let's look here. It says to determine the function value associated with the reference angle, and then depending on the quadrant which it lies, you have to tell the sign. So let's think about this. In my first quadrant, my x and y are plus plus. In my second quadrant, my x is negative, my y is positive. In my third quadrant, it's negative, negative. In my fourth quadrant, my x is positive and my y is negative. Really important that you guys remember that. So in these cases, you will be given a piece of the unit circle, just the positive part of our unit circle. And you notice we have our special right triangles, our 30, 60, 90, and our 45. So what we're going to do first is figure out what angle we are talking about. So 4 pi over 3, let's convert that. This goes here, here. So I'm at 240 degrees. I want to know the cosine of 240 degrees. Well, where is 240? This is 0, 360, 90, 180, 270. So 240 degrees is over here in quadrant 3. So I'm going to find the reference angle that is associated with 240. So since I'm in quadrant 3, it's 240 minus 180, and I get, good, 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is the reference angle that is formed right here. So look at this triangle. So I'm going to go over here to 60. What is the ordered pair at 60 degrees? It's positive 1/2 and the square root of 3. So at 60 degrees, I'm at positive 1/2 and the square root of 3 over 2. So you're saying, okay, well, what's the big deal in this? Well, think about it, guys. If I have a triangle that's like this piece right here from the origin to go to the left is negative. So my x value in this ordered pair is negative. And then to get down here to this right here, my y value, I would have to go down, so that's negative as well. So that is the ordered pair that we're talking about from our unit circle. We don't have the whole unit circle, but we can figure out what it is using our special right triangles and knowing what quadrant the reference angle lies in. So now if I'm trying to find the cosine of 240, or 4 pi over 3, well, cosine is my x value, so this answer would be negative 1/2. All right, so let's come over here to negative 210. First of all, we don't like to think in negatives, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and add 360 to this and find out what angle we're talking about from the positive direction. I don't know why I called it tangent. So the angle that we're talking about, we're trying to find the tangent of 150. So let's draw that angle. Here's 0, 360, 90, 180, and 270. Well, that's going to be over here in quadrant 2. So we're going to try and find the reference, we're going to find the reference angle, and then fix our signs for x and y, and then we can figure out what the tangent is. So how do I find in quadrant 2? What's my rule? Quadrant 2 is 180 minus the angle. So I'm talking about 30 degrees. So what is the ordered pair at 30 degrees? It's root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So it's positive square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. This is my x value, this is my y. So think about it. In the picture that we drawn, since we're in quadrant 2, my x value is negative, so it's negative square root of 3 over 2. And my y value is positive, so it's positive 1/2. So this is negative 3 square root of 2 and positive 1/2. So if I'm finding the tangent of this angle, the tangent of 150, well, think about what tangent is. It's y over x. So take your y value of 1/2 and divide it by negative root 3 over 2. If we're dividing fractions, we keep, change, flip, and then we simplify. The 2's will cancel. You have 1 over negative root 3, and then we rationalize. So this is negative square root of 3 over 3. All right, our last example is 11 pi over 4. So we're not exactly sure where that is, so let's go ahead and convert. So my pi's will cancel. 4 goes into 180 45 times, and then I'm going to multiply 45 times 11, and I get 495. So we're finding the cosecant of 495. So now we're like, well, wait a second. I don't even know where 495 is, so let's take 495 and subtract a whole circle from that, and we get 135. So what we're trying to find here is the cosecant of 135 degrees. Well, where is 135? Here's 180, here's 90, so it's over here in quadrant 2. So how do we find our reference angle if we're in quadrant 2? It's 180 minus 135, which gives us, so 180 minus 135 gives us 45. So I look and I say, okay, well, the reference angle that's formed here is 45 degrees. So again, we're in quadrant 2. So think about what quadrant 2 the signs are. So 45 is square root of 2 over 2. And the square root of 2 over 2. This is my x, this is my y. So now I look and I say, okay, well, if I'm in quadrant 2, then I know my x value is negative and my y value is positive. So my x value is negative, my y is positive. And they're asking me for the cosecant. Cosecant. Well, what is cosecant? What's our ratio? Cosecant goes with sine, so sine is y over r, so cosecant is going to be r over y. Now you guys are like, well, wait a second. I don't know what the R value is. Since this angle is on the unit circle, you know your R value is 1. But if you were going to find that out, let's talk about it. It's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So if I take negative root 2 over 2, square it, plus positive root 2 over 2 and square it, that gives me r squared. So when we do this negative square root of 2 times negative square root of 2 is just going to give me 2 over, when I distribute this down, this gives me 4, plus, we're going to distribute, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2 over 4. So when I add 2 over 4 plus 2 over 4, I get 4 over 4, which equals 1, equals r squared. Take the square root, so r equals 1. So in this case, guys, to find the cosecant, it's 1 over your y value, which is the square root of 2 over 2. We're dividing fractions, so we keep, change, flip, multiply across, you get 2 over the square root of 2, and then we rationalize. Square root of 2 on top, square root of 2 on the bottom. So you have 2 square root of 2 over 2. So the cosecant of 11 pi over 4 is the square root of 2. Again, your quiz review is due on Tuesday. If you have questions over the weekend, please feel free to email me whatever you need. But also, there is a web assignment that is not due for credit, but it's really good extra practice, so I would go ahead and do it. Have a great weekend, guys.